Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Get ready to discover the secrets of poultry farming with Dr. Raji.
Alright, good morning. My name is Raji Bomondeoku. I'm a medic and I'm the owner of this farm. Our farm name is Brooding Agricultural Enterprise. So it's a partnership project with my partners, and here we are on the farm. Right?
Yes, sir. So welcome to today's topic. We are talking about poultry farming or farming in general, but today we'll be focusing specifically on poultry farming with Dr. Raj. And we are on this farm. It's a very large farm. This farm is situated at the Lekki, just by the Lekki free zone.
Absolutely.
Way far from the normal city life. So, okay, right?
All right, and our farm is yes. So, welcome to the farm. This farm is a 30 acres land farm. So we have about 180 plots, and we started here in 2019. So we have various sections where we carry out different operations. So though this is our brooding section, this section is currently not in use because of the season. So we use here like once in a year to carry out brooding. So since we finished the last brooding, we've not gotten back here to maybe do anything more. So like you can see, it's not been tidied up. So we are still collecting the manure, the waste. Those bags you see out there are the waste that we're taking out from here. So once we are done collecting the waste, then we'll have to clean here up, then prepare it for the next brooding section. So those are the waste, and these are some of the materials we use when the time comes. So you can see we're still clearing. And just to add, when you want to start the poultry first, this is the first stage. We introduce the best stool. This is like the brooding stage. We refer to this stage as the brooding stage. So this is at the point where you first start up the birds, and this is where you give them their formative plans, both in medication, both in feeding, both in eat. You just have to balance everything here. So you can see the temperature here is controlled. This is like a brooder. This is like an eating device, right? So this provides heat to the birds when they are having maybe cool temperature, but normally it's always on. They can also see the way the nylon is used to control the temperature in here. So, and you can see the nipples. These are the water lines. The purpose of this is to supply water to the birds and ensure they are hydrated. So we also have other items that are not in use now, like the feeders. Like this is an example of a feeder. So what this does basically is to serve the feed. And usually at this stage, we don't introduce them to this. We use something like this. This is what we refer to as the tray. So at early stage, they can eat from here. Then maybe when they advance to like 4 weeks, 5 weeks, we introduce them to these feeding troughs. So this is the tray basically, and you start with this. All right, let's go to the other section. So that's that with this section. Here is our laying section. This is so this is where we have the laying bash. In this place we have about 5,000 birds here at the moment, and you can see they are the producers. So after they must have spent about 6 months on the floor there where we first visited, and we bring them here. This is at the point where they begin to produce. So these are the layers now. We call them layers. So for this very batch, they are about 42 weeks old.
42 weeks?
Yeah, they are 42 weeks old. So, and they are going to continue to be laying until they are 500 days old. Then they are disposed for sales. 500 days. Yes. So like this coming December now, some of these birds will not be here again. Yeah, but this coming December. So they will be sold into SMAs, then used. So you can see their eggs, and basically that's what it is like. So I'm just trying to check. In poultry, when we see something like this, there's likely to be a case of pecking. So like this is a blood stain. So I'll just have to bring out this bird because it might predispose the birds to prolapse. So let's go. I'm good. So on a daily basis, we collect about 140 to 150 crate of eggs here. 140 to 142. Yeah, 140 to 142 from the 5,000 birds. No, eggs.
Eggs?
Yeah.
140 eggs.
Crates.
Crates of eggs?
Yes.
Wow. And the crate right now is about...
Yeah, a crate has got 30 eggs. Then the crate is 3,300.
So every day you make
yes, sir.
like a very lucrative business.
Yeah, lucrative, but the cost are also, you know, also there. So you can just take a walk here again to see. So this is still part of the laying section. So, and as you can see, the birds are going to be, yes, you can see the birds are going to be lesser here. So the worries here are less compared to what you have there. Here they're able to feed themselves once the feed is served. So like the other stage, you have to be more watchful. You have to provide all the necessary surveillance on them. So, but here they can drink on their own, they can feed on their own, they know, you know, the right time to drink. Yeah, this is the nipple. So once the birds tap the nipple, the water drops here. They tap with their beak. They tap with their beak. So, and this is the feeding trough. So this is from where they get the feed from. So it's green. I'll take you to the feed section where I will explain how we make the feed. Okay, so that's just like what we have here. And we also provide water to them. You can see this is the source of water. The water on the island is not so good, like everybody knows around here. So, and our water is also not treated, so we give them like that naturally. So this is the source of water. This is the tank. This is about 1,000 liters tank. Okay, so there are basically three startup categories when you are planning to set up a poultry. One, you could start small. One, you could have it on the medium scale. Then you could have it big. Like ours is not that big, it's medium. You understand? We have poultries that have hundreds of thousands of flocks in them. So, and we consider them to be big because of their investment size, because of the land mass, and also the processes that they use. To the feed mill section, this is our feed mill facility, and this is where we produce all the chicken feeds. You know, the feeds, we serve them, and we have different types of feeds also. We have like the chick mesh when the boss just arrived newly, so we prep the chick mesh here. The difference is that the mesh is smaller because the best anatomy, their digestive tract is very small, so you just have to make it tiny. So we use this tiny sieve for them. So when they grow older, maybe to about 4 weeks, we introduce them to what we call the chick mash. So that one is also a bigger. It's still in the chick category. Then once they are about maybe 6 weeks, then we take them onto the grower. So the grower mash are like, you know, the second to the last stage in the feeding plan, and that they're going to be having it for long. That's the longest feed they would eat before they now go into the layer mash. So this facility is a 5 tonnage capacity feed mill. So what we do here basically is to put all the ingredients together, like the materials we use. There are a lot of materials that we use in milling, but the most essential component is the maize, because that's the energy source that we rely on. So we mill using maize. We have the concentrate. Concentrate is like the semi-finished feed. It contains enzymes, it contains lot of minerals, like that, that helps them to process the feed. So after the enzymes, we also have limestone. We have, we also add limestone to the feed. Limestone is like the calcium source. It's to support them with both potassium and some calcium content. Then we also add wheat bran. They also call it wheat offal. So the purpose of wheat offal is to supply them with the necessary fiber that they needed to aid the digestion and to make sure that the feed is well utilized. Then apart from the wheat offal, sometimes depending on the content of the feed, we also introduce other materials just to bring it up to quality. So let me just explain. At the moment, we are not producing because of the crisis in the maize market, but we're going to start very soon. So these are the plants that we work with. So this is we call this mixer. This is a 2 tonnage mixer. It produces 2 tons per hour.
Wow.
Yeah, 2 tons, that's 2,000 kg per hour, basically. So 2,000 kg per hour. Then this is the grinder. Some call it grinder, some call it crusher, some call it breaker, depending upon the use, So this is like the grinder, and it's basically for crushing all the materials. So those materials that are edible, we start them from here. Then this is the conveyor. The conveyor's job is to network or transport this material from this grinder to these 2 mixers. So this is 2 tons, this is 2 tons, and that's...
They do the same functions?
Yes, same function. So if we are going to be producing 4,000 kg, we just engage both mixers. But if we are doing just, 2,000 kg or 2 tons, we just work with one.
And how long do you think, how long do you think this would last in feeding them? Like you have 5,000 birds in there. How many birds do you mention? Okay, so depending upon what your numbers of birds are, but on an average, 1,000 birds eat 4 bags of feed per day. So when you are dealing with 5,000, you're talking about 20 bags. So, but some do 5 bags mass per 1,000. So that like you have 25 bags in a day for 5,000 birds. So that's like that. So when we produce here, this gives us 80 bags. You understand? Because a ton has 40 bags. A ton is 1,000 kg, and 1 bag is 25 kg. So this gives us 80 bags. And when you give them 80 bags, if you are using 20 bags per day, that means you have 4 days to use up the feed from here. So if you make here too, you have 4 days. So if you combine them, that's 8 days, So then this is a 1,000 kg, plant. What this does is just similar to what this does. The only difference is this is like a backup plan in case this breaks down. So we can easily come back to this as, an alternative plan. So this has not been in use also, but it's functional. It's functional. We just need to couple some of the implement we've taken out and, start it. So that's just like that. And these are the pallets we used in stacking the materials when they come. All of these are the pallets. And we also have, these are some of the elements of the feed. Oh, it's out already. So these are some of the elements of the feed. Like you can see this wheat offal. This is a wheat offal. Wheat offal, yep. This wheat. Just wheat from the wheat. The normal whole wheat. Whole grain wheat. So that's like the normal wheat brand. Let me see if we have something else that I can show you. What's there? Okay, so this is maize. You're familiar with maize. So this is maize. And this is the manager here, Mr. Blessing. Mr. Blessing Augustine. This is soya bean meal. So this is soya. This is soya bean meal. So
This is soya. What else do we have there? Limestone. What was this? Toxin binder.
Yes, sir.
So this is toxin binder. The purpose of this is to reduce the toxins in the feed. You know, all of these materials come directly from the farm. They've not been pre-boiled, they've not been processed, so they just come in naturally. And because of that, they come with a lot of, you know, pathogens, you know, and all that. So the essence of this is to reduce the toxins in the feed, because if the toxins in the feed becomes too much, it's going to affect the birds, and it will lead to what we call mycotoxins or aflatoxins. So then this is salt. This is normal sodium chloride that we all know. Although this is not the class for table use here, but this is
Like direct from the sea.
not directly from the sea, but it has some constituents. So like it's been upgraded with potassium. Sorry, no, it's not the normal one. I wish I could see the back to see the exact material that's been improved. So let me show you limestone. So this is limestone, the same limestone we know here. Yeah, the same limestone they use in making cement.
First time I'm seeing that.
Yes, so this is a limestone. So it's from the limestone region. You find this mostly in the north, like Kogi. Even Ogun State has got plenty of it. So this is the limestone. What else do we have, Blessing? So you've seen the wheat, you've seen the wheat. So that's basically what you know, we do here. And once we are running, so this is the plant that powers this, you know, this factory.
Big generator.
Yeah. So it's an 100 kVA generator, and it runs on diesel. So
Is this cost effective?
of course, since there is no electricity, even
right now.
yeah, in town, a lot of companies, banks use this because it's the only option you have.
Or do you think if someone had like a big farm like this, or a farm of yours like this, do you advise if someone can invest into solar?
Yeah, good, but solar would not power this plant. That would be a misadventure, you know, to pull them, because you need to do a lot of work, like investment, to get a solar that will power this. And you know, during rainy season also, but you still need something to charge the inverters and do all of that. So you cannot put production on inverter energies, or solar energy rather. So you have to use this like a one-time, just direct supply, and you get your stores done. Oh yeah, we're good.
Yes, sir. So I want to ask, what are the target markets for your products, your poultry products?
Okay. Do you want me to respond, or we are? Okay, so for our poultry product, our market here is quite big, and we have different market stratas. So like if you look at on your way in here, we have the Dangote refinery. The Dangote refinery is the single largest industry on this flank. You know, it's holding over 30,000 workers, and most of the top executives are predominantly foreigners. So they rely on the foods from our farms and also other farms, you know, for their meals and all that. So they have a kitchen, they're a very big, massive central kitchen. So, and apart from the Dangote refinery, we have the free zone. It also has a lot of companies, and we have the deep sea port. Though the port is new, but it's also part of the market. The people who are in the port buy the materials from the distance. So we have that today. So at the moment, our supplies are giving out to the wholesalers. They're coming to buy. I wish you would meet one of them before you go. So they're coming to buy. Once they buy, they supply to those, you know, establishments, and also the community also. They buy the eggs, they buy the chicken. Then we also sell the feeds to other farms around. So
if someone wanted to start a business like this, what's like the cost? What should be the person's budget? Like the minimum budget for him to be a profitable poultry farmer?
Okay, so you know, profitability depends on first your own budget, what you're worth, because going into poultry means that you could join, like I've explained earlier, either as a small scale, medium scale, or you go large. So for ours, it's more of medium than large. So though we have enough land to become larger, even tomorrow, because this 30 acres, space. So and all the 30 acres are fenced, just like you have it like this. So for the budget, poultry could start from the backyard coop that we all know. Even those who do backyard coops make profit, like when you are targeting seasons like Xmas, Easter, maybe Salah. So you can grow even 15 chickens. You buy them very cheap, you grow them, you serve them the feed and everything and start it up. So even with a 100,000 budget, you'll be able to start a mini poultry. What you just needed is prudent management and ensure you give them all the right vaccines and everything they needed to have. So that small scale could be from 100 to even 50,000. Like I was speaking with a friend who used to be a fellow with me in the bank. She said before the last Easter, she bought 3 broilers. She brought 3 broilers and she was able to raise them until they were 8 weeks, and she bought them at maybe 400 naira per one, but she ended up selling at 15,000 per one. So even when she took out the cost of feeding them and all that, she still had something left. So that's how small you can start. And for medium size, I wouldn't know what medium ranges from. Like when we were looking at setting up this place, our initial budget was like $100,000. So I think that was at 2019. And you know what $100,000 is worth now. So you could do, like for medium, could go from $100,000 to maybe $300,000, on the medium scale, depending on what your plans are. Because like for us, you can see the area is fenced. We have the factory, we have the pen. The biggest cost element in the poultry is the housing. So every other thing might not come. The housing and the feeding, they're always very expensive. Like you have to build, set up. Imagine building so much infrastructure just for chickens. So, but in the UK and other places, you could do them on the floor. So you don't need to really fight against the law for you to put cages in the cage. Chickens in the cage, sorry, because it's like imprisoning them. So that's just it. So then the large scale is super wide. Those large scale producers, we have a couple of them. Like Sheep Farms is a large scale farm. It is in the country, one of the biggest. We have Sheep Farm, CHI. It also said this Shivita, Shivita,
Obasanjo's farm.
No. It's different. Obasanjo's farm too is there in Ota. We have the Zatec farms, we have the Agrited, we have the Amo, we have Animal Care. So all of these guys are into large-scale poultry production, and they are not just targeting eggs. Some are targeting the chicks. They are into breeding. They breed the prolific ones to give us this one that lay eggs. So some are into turkeys, some are into chickens processing. So like CHI now is into frozen foods. So they do frozen foods. They also do day-old chicks. So that's it depends. So for a big farm like that, I mean, you would expect that they will be spending millions of dollars to set it up. Like the one I was privy to is this Shikum farm. Olams, they recently set up a facility in Ilorin, somewhere in Ilorin, and I was reading the report that when the governor commissioned it, it was about maybe $26 to $30 million investment. Yep, in Ilorin. Yep. So,
what's the name of the farm?
Olams. Yeah.
That should be a farm someone should visit.
Yes. So that's like a massive setup there. So that's just what the range, can be for setting up a poultry.
So, sir, are there rules or are there regulations, or are there governing bodies that you have to, or maybe what would I call it? Hold on, sorry, please.
Yes, there are regulations. There are regulations. There are associations. There are also government laws that are related to poultry, business or poultry development. So one, majorly the environmental laws are very clear as to how you can set up a business like this. If you're going to Chevron, like before you get to the second toll gate, there is one poultry on the right. I don't know if you've observed
I
it.
think that poultry belongs to Eleganza.
Not really Eleganza. It belongs to yet by Eleganza. So a king actually owns it. I've forgotten his name now. So if you look at that poultry now, they are currently downsizing because the poultry structure does not fit into that urban setting again. So that's one thing you notice there. So, but in terms of laws, generally, agric laws are not that strict in Nigeria. Farming is something government has tried to encourage over the years. So, I think just for you to set up, maybe you need to belong to the members poultry association union. You need to be part of the union so that you can have all the necessary support, technical support, and when you want to have news like government intervention, you can always get those news from them. So then apart from that, your business should be registered. Then you must try as much as you can to be environmental, compliant, so with all the environmental legislations. So basically, and I think that just for you to ensure that you do not degrade the environment. Like us now, I personally have been to Kenya for a project on this very poultry. It has to do with sustainable development goals, the SDGs, and we're looking at ways of managing the impact of our waste here on the environment. Because if you look at the green life, if I take you to the back there, you see how much impact that has had on the green life. And we've been working to see how we can reduce it and also diversify. So before now, we used to process our waste. That plant is no longer functional, but it's there. We have another section for waste. Because of the energy cost, we had to just stop it because we had to run on diesel to operate the plant. So, but we've stopped for some time. So, but since we've not been doing that, like we used to collect the waste, we bag them, then sell to those crop farmers. So that's what we do basically.
So the plant for the waste, what does it convert? Does it convert?
It does a dryer, so it extracts the water away from the waste. So once it is dried, we bag them and sell.
Wow, that's really nice. So that's really nice. I was about to ask how you manage your waste, but you've already answered the question.
Yeah.
So, okay. What are the security measures you put into your farming system, like protecting your chicks, also protecting them from diseases or flu?
Okay, predators. Okay, so basically here, I think the only challenge we've had with our birds is snakes. We have a lot of snakes here, and they are python snakes. Yes, I wish I could show you.
That back of that.
So we have a lot of pythons here. This is a python, habitat. So they come in once in a while, and some of them could eat as much as 4 chickens at a time.
Wow.
So we get to kill them too a lot. Like this year, we've killed like how many snakes? Like 2 snakes this year. So extremely, those ones can swallow a full-blooded.
Do you have a picture?
Yeah, we have some of the pictures. I think we have some. Though my phone, don't worry, we'll find. My phone I just lost. I had everything. Yeah, they're very big pythons.
Is it because of the habitat, like
yes, the habitat.
Water around?
Yes, there's water. Then they like this kind of settlement. So we have a lot of them around. Since we started here, there's not been a year that we didn't kill python. We kill them a lot. So that's like the major threat to the business. Then we also have like the physical, human threat. That's very minimal. Like people coming to steal. We've not seen something like that in a long time. But in the past, we've had a case of theft, people coming in. But most times it's usually from those who are within. So then. Maybe the biggest threat to the poultry industry generally is epidemic diseases, so that you cannot rule out. But there are a lot of containment and prevention strategies that you can use. Basically, you just have to stick to your vaccination plan, have a very strong medical foundation for the birds, and you see them doing well. I think that's the major thing you need to do, because poultries, the birds are very sensitive and they are volatile. So they can fall. You can lose 100 birds in a day. You can lose 1,000 in a day. if care is not taken.
So how do you manage all those things? Like, are there measures like, oh, these are the particular set of people that must come into this place, or there is like maybe like an antibiotic
medication?
Like,
okay, now you have to. Yes, one thing we missed when you were coming in was the food dip, and because we call it biosecurity. So biosecurity is the strategy or the measure that is used for preventing diseases on the farm. So the biosecurity starts from that very spot, that food dip that you just talked about. Then after that, we have like a vaccination plan. The vaccination plan contains the list of every medication and vaccination that the birds will have throughout their life. You understand? So that's the vaccination plan. And for that, what it means is that it specifies at what point, what vaccines, what medicines they have to take, what therapy you need to introduce. So when you stick to that plan, I think the chances of having any outbreak or epidemics are very low.
that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. Well, you're at advantage because you're a doctor also.
But not a vet, so but I'm experienced.
Yeah, that little experience.
Yeah, I'm experienced, so I'm able to stick to the prevention more. So, and when I see physical sign, because every human and like living thing that are non-plant, we share a lot of similarity in our biomedical, conditions.
So how do you maintain quality control to ensure consistency with the types of things you give out?
Okay, so for quality control measures, that is largely for the poultry, it's largely in the feed. You understand? So we have to ensure that the feed is wholesome, it is untempered, right? So, and that starts from the sourcing, like where we buy our materials from. We have this system. So when we want to buy, we send out somebody to go and check, the maize this person has, how good is it? Because some maize, when you buy them, they are wet, some are not fit even for consumption. So once we see them, we reject those ones. And in production also, I'll show you a video of our production when we are producing. So if I'm not there, we have somebody who is in charge of controls. So he ensures that the right materials are used, the right quantities are used, and also ensures that the medicine ratios are balanced, basically.
That's nice. Okay. Okay, like you already made mention of the certificates that someone needs to register.
Yeah, you need to register your bill.
Are there other agencies that someone needs to
so
start in this?
what you can do again, like the Federal Ministry of Agri has a lot of potentials, opportunities for farmers. So you may check with the Ministry of Agri in the state and at the federal level. Maybe there are programs you need to enroll your farm into. They might have like we are currently being audited by the Ministry of Agri to become what they call them now. So we wanted to be hosting fertilizers for the farmers in this community. So, and they will be using this at our warehouse, so that process is on. So things like that, you need to see if you can get on them. Yeah, at night. So when it rains heavily and their habitat are damaged by flood, so they tend to come out. So they come out at night. They are very powerful at night.
Very powerful.
Daytime, like we have caught one live and caged it.
Caged it?
Yeah. So there was that was 2021. So there was one that invaded the farm, and we saw after we caught it. Pythons are not venomous, so they can only swallow, and they can give you a tough heading. They can jump and head you down heavily. Like this last one we killed almost broke my bones.
Let's ask, how do you handle veterinary care and emergencies?
Yeah, so for veterinary, for us, we've had a lot of terrible experiences in the past. So I think we have built a culture because we really have emergency situations in the last 2 years. But we've had a situation that wiped out about 4,000 birds before. Yep. About 4,000 chickens. It was like...
How were you able to cope mentally?
You just have to manage now. It's not You know, in any business,
Like almost all your beds.
yep. In any business,
This farm
you
can
just
hold
spend
how many capacity?
both year and year 30,000.
30,000. Wow.
Yeah.
And right now you have 5,000.
We have just
And you are
5,000.
making 140 crates per
By
day.
July, there will be about 15,000.
Wow.
By July, when the new batch comes in,
So by December you have like 20K.
no, December it will still be 15. So we will just, in fact, after December it will drop because these ones will be sold out. Wow. So for our veterinary, you know, myself too, you know, in the past we left a lot of things in the hands of people. So like I take full charge now of the veterinary process. So I manage that. Then if need comes, we bring in the vet. We have a vet too that is on retainership with us.
Labor requirements, and will you hire employees or manage your farm yourself?
Depending upon the setup of the farm. Because like for us now, our capacity, we've kind of downsized in the last 6 months. We downsized because like you can see the feed mill is not in operation. That place used to require about 4 people on its own to stay up. So then the poultry, for these 5,000 birds, we have just 3 workers there. So then we have an accountant who is also currently is an in-training accountant. So then we have we don't have a manager at the moment. We have the general supervisor. So that Mr. Blessing I showed you is the general supervisor. He used to be an attendant, then he was elevated to the position of a general supervisor. So at the moment he manages the farm and he reports to me. So I also have like a sister who is an MD. She is based in the UK, so she's the MD of our company generally, though she's not always been around. So we have our board. So we have a board. We have a board of the company. So our board is made up of. So when you talk, I don't know if you just wanted the labor requirement or the board. Okay. So we have like a board. Our board is made up of the certain people, like our chairman is Senator Bodiola Jumoke, that like my dad. So then we also have Professor Olarewaju Denton. He's a renowned agronomist with the National Institute for Oil Palm Research. So we have other people on the board, like Princess Remi Olajumoke too. So she's the daughter of the former Oba of Lagos that has gone home, Oyekon. Yes, so then among others.
That's nice. Well, it's good to let people know that you can come in as a group of friends or a group of a family to start up a business. Not like necessarily has to be only you that will put all the bills, which is understandable. How will you adapt to seasonal fluctuations in demand and productions?
I think the major fluctuations we have in poultry is what we refer to as gluts. You know, so and gluts brings about low demand for eggs. I think mostly for eggs. Like I think we are just coming out of glut, though the glut is not really coming as it used to be again, because in the past the glut situation used to be very terrible. So and not just glut. Glut is a period where the demand for egg goes down. You understand, and basically you don't have much people asking, and I think a lot of events have been tied to that very situation. So because some aspects of the market are determined by also the socioeconomic realities, like maybe when schools are on vacation, there seems to be, you know, lower purchase demand for eggs. So and when like the Muslims are fasting, so there is also reduced consumption of eggs. So that's also a factor. Then again, when we have a specific event that's like the Christians do, I think they have Lent sometimes. So that's also another reason. So
it was together with
the Muslims this very time, this last time. So what we always do is to be resilient, because one thing we've done over the years, like myself, we've tried to like diversify our customer base. It is not just tied to one particular market. So like when we had COVID, you know, there was lockdown and we're producing. People were burying their eggs. Was it just COVID? Also, yes,
People
COVID.
bury the eggs.
Yeah, they are eggs.
How long does it take for an egg to get spoiled?
Now maybe like 3 weeks. It depends on how you store them. If the storage is good, maybe 3 weeks. But if it's bad, maybe the place is not ventilated enough. It may even get spoiled, earlier than 2 weeks.
But how many weeks can you use inside the fridge?
Inside, once you put it in the fridge, it's preserved. Anything that is refrigerated can be preserved for as long
As
on the year you want them. So it's preserved
So
because
how we use the
absolutely.
So during that time of COVID, what were the measures you implemented?
So during COVID, it was very tough, because eggs were not being demanded and volume was much. Like there were a lot of eggs in the market. The measures we did was to adopt social media. That was the first thing we did. So we knew a lot of people were at home. They didn't leave their houses for long. So, and they're still able to interact with their immediate community members. So what we did was to introduce deliveries. So we bought a bus, and me too, I used to have a car that was strong then. Maybe it was a Corolla then. I just put it out for the driver. So sometimes I drive the egg, sometimes the driver, did. So we were delivering to homes. And the egg sellers were happy that we could do those deliveries. So we continued with that until the end of COVID.
That's nice.
free movement for
For agri produce. Though we had some constraint too dealing with the police, but we just had to, like 2 times our van got confiscated at Hausa. But luckily we also have we are Lagosians, so we had to bring it out back. So we had some challenges too at that time.
Okay, I think I've almost even asked all the questions. What are the long-term goals, or what long-term goals do you have for poultry farming business, and how will you measure success?
Well, some of the success criteria in poultry is tied to performance, because like I said, the poultry industry is just coming out from a challenging time. And when I say challenging time, I mean tough time that has kicked out at least 40% of the poultries in Nigeria out of business, at minimum. Because let me cite an instance, and it cut across all other sectors, not just in poultry. But let me give you a practical analogy that will help you understand well. If you were running a gas station, like you have a gas station where you sell petrol, or you sell PMS, you sell AGO, you sell, LPG, you sell gas. So before May of 2023, when the government announced the removal of subsidy, you needed about 7 million naira to run a full 33,000 liters, size of gas station. Like 7 million naira only for you to run that kind of gas station capacity. You just have to buy from the depot, then you discharge into your storage tank and dispense with your nozzles and all that. 7 million naira, you'll be good. Once you are done selling, you buy back. But as we speak now, to buy same quantity, you need about 20 million. So imagine somebody who was working with just maybe 8 or 10 million naira, you'll be thrown out of business. So if you go down, you see that a lot of gas stations that were not really strong then have been knocked out. So same thing happened to poultry. So because our feed, as at December of 2022, a bag of poultry feed was 5,600. But now we are buying it at 13,000.
Wow.
So one of the reasons why we had to stop production also was the high cost of running. We prefer to go buy now than spending all the money, putting in all the time, and it doesn't worth it at the end. Now for us to stock what we stock in the past there, so before we could run in a month, we could run the feed mill with about 30 million. But now you see that you needed just in a month
to run that feed mill.
Yes,
cost you about
with our
30 million.
supplies, everything, so materials, input.
Wow.
So, but now
Just to feed these birds, or you sell out?
and sell out also.
Okay, you sell out.
Sell out also. So, but now and as we speak now, we need about 50 something million. So where would you just get a difference from like that? And at the end of the day, when you finish doing it, you don't really get much profit because all this transport problem, diesel too, they are charging high. By the time you check everything, you are in a big mess. So the future of poultry is not really clear. There is so much uncertainty in the industry, to answer your question. So, but we can only hope for the best, you know. I know this the best times are yet to come, but it's not been a really good experience in the last 1 year, so to say, because even you can see we used to have a very large size, but we had to go down to 5,000. We downsized so that we can manage the economic impact, because what we had in February was horrible. Like you go to the market, you just tell your driver, drive the truck to the market and load. The moment you are there, they tell you the price has gone up by about 800,000. Like instantly, just within 2 minutes, they tell you the price is now up by 800,000. And because of what we buy, like we buy in large volume, so we suffered a lot of losses as a result of that market fluctuation. So the future of poultry in Nigeria, to me, is quite it's highly unpredictable. You know, it's highly unpredictable. Then I think the only way we can get it right is for the government to introduce certain measures. We are not saying the government should come and put in money, but you need to be able to boost their resilience so that when times like this come, like you can see government rolling out grains from the National Reserve and all that, so you can ensure adequate or effective implementation of that intervention. If well maintained, maybe the grains will get to even smaller people like us or smaller farmers like us, and we'll be able to use it to support our resilience. So that's just it. So, but I don't feel that the future is bright. The future is not bright. So now, the future is not bright. So we can only hope for the best, because the uncertainties are just much. And a lot of farmers, before now, we used to have 5 farms here, but we are just the only one left. The other person that is left is not up to half. He's just managing with about maybe 500 birds. And it's a big poultry that could hold as much as 20,000.
Wow. So is there any technology or advancements you are looking to implement in the near future, or you wish to implement?
Poultry has a lot of potentials, and there is no limit to how much we can be advanced in terms of speaking of technology. The only problem we have is electricity, because technology relies largely on electricity. So that's like the impediment. So if electricity is not restored or done properly, we would not at any time advance than what we have now, because like this community, there's not been supply for 10 years.
Wow.
Like I told you, so there's not been supply for 10 years. So we rely on diesel generator diesel. And you can see how much price of diesel also went up. Diesel was 700, it went to 1,570. So diesel is about 1,500 now. So you can see how much impact that will have on the business per liter. So now when you are running on diesel, you can see the plant there, it takes a lot of diesel. We have 2 here, one just left. We're bringing it back. So now, with that, you cannot advance in technology, because there are advances in the poultry industry overseas. You see that some people are serving their birds with automatic feeders, automatic drinkers, automatic egg collectors. So, but we cannot even dream of that now, because the environment is not there. The environment is not there. The infrastructures are not there. So we just need to continue to manage like this and be resilient. Otherwise, poultry is threatened now. The industry is heavily threatened.
Do you think in a country that has like 24 hours lights, this type of business would be very, very functional? And like a country that has a stable economy?
Absolutely. It will do well.
To do well.
It will do extremely well, because I mean, look at how much we spend on diesel. on a monthly basis, if we are to cut that out, it will maximize our profit. We'll be able to invest in development or expansion. Every day we run generators, we run plants, because we need to pump water, we need to do such and such with energy. So if we were to have stable electricity, I mean, that would be a lot of savings. And from there we can invest into other sectors. So like our own future as a farm, maybe to just advance your question. So we are currently in the middle of going into full vegetation farming. In fact, maybe when you come again, all our perimeters would have been farmed with coconut and palm trees. We have like a new project somebody was gonna start around here, and he already worked on a budget only for him to start, and the cash finished. He didn't even get to 40%.
That's cool.
So
That's really cool.
that's how bad it can be.
Okay, Dr. Raj, thank you very much for your time and this unpaid knowledge you've given to us about poultry farming. Because
so
I'm sure if people watch this, they will know where to, be careful and take more security measures and all of these things.
Absolutely.
Thanks for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for more poultry good news. Until next time, happy farming.